Thank you everybody for joining today. We're here for functional fitness, which is part of our Grow with GoGo virtual event series. This is something that we've started in the past year to kind of put some fun things on your calendar, participate and join in on some activities that might be interesting for you, things that fill your cup. So we hope this is one of those things. You probably found GoGo because you needed one of these services. So with just our phone call, just our phone number to 855-464-6872, you can get access to all of these things. So rides, meals, groceries, prescription delivery, and also home services, which is our newest service that we offer. And I'm Cassie, I'm GoGo's Communications Director, and we are joined by Adra every week, who's our instructor. So I'm gonna pass it over to Adra.
Thanks, Cassie. Hi, everybody. Good to see you. Nice to see some familiar names and faces and some new ones as well. So welcome to class. Today is functional fitness. So just the things that you need are a chair and then a pair of weights. If you don't have weights, you can use water bottles, you can use cans, or nothing at all. The weights that I have are 3 pounds, so you can go anywhere from 1 to 3, maybe even 4 pounds. So it's up to you. And that's it in terms of things you need. Before we move into our exercise, does anybody remember what our functional fitness move of the week is? I see maybe a hand raised. So you can unmute yourself.
It is side bends with arms above your head.
That's right, Carol. Oh, that's right. Nice job. So I believe Varushka will be sending you a little message just to make sure to get your info so that you can get your credits.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Well, without further ado, I guess we'll get going. Let's move. Oh, and one more little piece of, if you cannot see me, you want to go to your screen. If you're on a computer, top right-hand corner, there are some little squares, and it says like view, and then you can pick speaker mode. And then I'm actually seeing William, you have your hand raised. Did you want to say something, William? Or did you accidentally hit the hand raise? Or I can't hear. Okay, so if there's something, you can always put it in the chat, because I can't see him. I think, William, maybe you're speaking, but I can't hear you. So if you want to, maybe put something in the chat if you have a question, or, and then we can address it. Okay, and so as I was saying, top right-hand corner, view on your computer, pick speaker mode to make sure you see me. You can pick gallery if you want to see everybody else. All right, well, then let's get started. So we'll start standing today. Plant those feet, take your feet 4 to 6 inches apart. Toes are facing forward. Spine is long, shoulders are soft, and you're just gonna let yourself sort of twist gently, a little rotating, letting your hips move, letting your knees move, letting your ankles move. So just letting everything just gently twist. And then settle yourself in the center and allow yourself to rock a little forward and back. So weight shifts forward into the toes and then back into the heels. And then find your way even front to back. And then allow yourself to rock a little side to side. So right and left, noticing that weight shift right and left. And then finding even weight here, right to left. So we have even weight, right to left, front to back. Feet are firmly planted into the earth. Let's inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the ceiling, reaching tall. And then exhale, lower the arms back down. Inhale, arms circle out and up, reaching, stretching the fingertips away from your body. And then exhale, arms lower back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale as we lift the arms. And exhale as we lower. One more. Inhale, lifting up. And exhale, lower. Now lifting those arms up to the sky and pause. Keep those arms overhead, reaching up, and we'll side bend to one side. So stretching the side body, take an inhale, and then exhale, lift yourself back up. If having your arms overhead doesn't work, just lower your arms and do the side bend without the arms. Other side, inhale, side bend, exhale, up. Few more, inhale, reaching to the side. Exhale, lifting up. Other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. One more each side. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, coming up. Other way. Inhale, side bend. Exhale, coming up. Release those arms. Shake out the arms and legs. And then we'll take our feet wider. Wide as the shoulders, or maybe a tiny bit wider. Toes can face forward or slightly out. So whatever's comfortable for your body. We'll bend those knees, arms reach forward, even weight on those feet. So watch that you're not shifting to one side or the other. And then straighten those legs and lower the arms. We inhale, bend the knees, arms come forward. And exhale, straighten the legs and lower the arms. Few more. Inhale as you bend. Hips go back. I'll give you a side view. And then exhale as you rise. Noticing what muscles in your body are working here. And one more time. Once you're up, go ahead and heel toe those feet back together or step those feet back together. And let's do some big shoulder rolls forward. Just warming up the body, getting the body ready. Big shoulder rolls forward. And shoulder rolls back. And then letting the shoulders relax, and let's do some wrist circles, one direction. And wrist circles the other way. All right, and then releasing those hands. And we're going to place our hands on our chair. So hands come on the chair, and then we're gonna walk our feet back. So with your legs back, your legs can be bent or they can be straight. So it's up to you in terms of the comfort. But I want your spine to be able to move. So if your legs are straight and you cannot move your spine around as we add on, then bend your knees to make this more possible for your body. So hands are on your chair. Knees are maybe a little bit bent or a lot bent. We're going into cat-cow here. Shoulders drop away from the ears. We inhale, reach the tail to the sky and your chest forward. So we're creating a back bend. And then exhale, Halloween cat. You're going to tuck your tail between the legs, drop your chin to your chest, and round your back. So we inhale, cow pose, tailbone goes up, chest comes forward, and exhale, round into a cat. So just warming up our spine before we add our weights. A couple more times here at your own pace. Again, remembering that bending those knees is going to allow your spine to move more. So if you're finding it's hard to move your spine, bend your knees. And then pause, finding a neutral spine. So spine is nice and long, it's not arched or rounded. Move your left hand to the center of the chair. So if your hands are sort of on either side of the chair towards the edges, go ahead and place one hand, your left hand, underneath where your face is, essentially, but on the chair. We'll bring the right hand to your pelvis. So you're going to bring that right hand to your back and then move down to that bony bone in your pelvis, so quite close to your glutes. Try and keep your pelvis even. Imagine that your hand is a cup of tea and you don't want to pour that cup of tea in any direction. So keep your pelvis steady as you rotate your spine to the right. We're just twisting that spine a little bit. Doesn't matter how far you go. 2 more breaths here. And then unwind. Switching sides. So right hand's coming onto your chair where the left hand was. So it's essentially pretty close to underneath your face. It's a little more center on the chair. Left hand is going to your back. So you can go to your back and then move down so that you're on that bone in your pelvis. So pretty close to those glutes. Spine stays pretty long as you rotate to the left. Now, it's okay to not go very far. So it's not necessarily about range, but it's about noticing your body, warming up the spine, warming up the arms and the shoulders. Maybe noticing how far you go on this side compared to the other side. And unwind, release. Go ahead and lift yourself back up. And we're going to sit in our chair. So a couple more warm-up moves before we add a little more strength. So sitting in your chair, sitting nice and tall, come forward towards the front edge of the chair so that you're not using the backrest, that you're ahead of the backrest to use those stabilizing core muscles to keep you up. Try to keep your torso upright. So as we add on, it might want to lean back. See if you can keep it upright as best you can. We're going to straighten one leg from the knee, so the leg goes straight ahead of us and down, and then alternating. So we're just warming up those quad muscles a little bit more. So those muscles in the front of the thigh that help straighten our leg. Keeping the ribs relaxed. So even as you're keeping your torso upright, you don't need to jut your rib cage forward. Letting your breath be steady. No specific breath rhythm, just keep breathing. And the next time your right leg is forward, you're going to pause and hold. Circle your ankle. Circle the other way. Relax your foot and lower the leg. Other side, left leg comes up, straightening the leg. Circle your ankle. Circle the other way. Relax the foot and lower the leg. Let's lean forward. And then reach those arms down towards your feet. We're just stretching out the back here, so you're welcome to round your back here. Let your head and neck go for just a moment. 3 breaths. And then lifting your torso up. So now's a good time to grab those weights. One weight per hand. We're gonna work our back and shoulders. Again, you don't need to do this with weights, so if it's more comfortable without weights, totally fine. So we're leaning forward again, pretty much in that same position we were, except for now, there's just a slight gap between your thighs and your torso. So you're not completely resting on your legs, but you're pretty far forward. Arms dangle down by your legs. We bend the elbows, squeezing those shoulder blades together, elbows up to the sky, and then we straighten those arms back down. Let's add some breath. So we inhale, prepare, exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze, and lower down. Keep going. If this is too much, you can lift your torso up partially, right? So that lift of the torso higher will make this less intense. Continuing to breathe. And if you don't remember the breath rhythm that I suggested, that's okay. It's just a suggestion. As long as you keep breathing, that's fine. Let's do about 4 more. And then sitting up. If you're comfortable continuing to hold the weights, you're going to hold the weights for this next exercise. If you start to do this next exercise with the weights and they're not working for you, just put them to this side. So we're gonna bend the elbows and bring the weights in front of us. So I'll just show you from the front. So I have my hands touching or my weights touching and my elbows close to my body. Going to do some form of sit-ups here. So feet are firmly planted. We're at the front of our chair. We inhale, lean back. Spine is long, so it's not a back bend. So we're not arching back. And then exhale, sit up. So we inhale, lean back. And exhale, sit up. So here the breath is important. So I do want you to inhale on the way back. And I definitely want you to exhale on the way up. So try to avoid breath holding here. A couple more times or several more times. Let's do one more. And then releasing those arms. And we're going to mindfully come up. So when you come up, just think about it as a squat. So it's as if you're squatting on the way up. So coming up nice and evenly. All right, we're going to work those arms a little bit more. So we're going to turn and face those palms forward. And then go ahead and let them face slightly out, if that's possible. So, right, this is maybe our comfortable position. We turn the palms to face forward and then slightly out. Going to bend those elbows, hands come towards the shoulders, and then lower them back down. I'll show you a side view. So the arms are kind of to the side, but slightly forward as well. So at a slight angle, bending and straightening. Moving with control. If your weights feel really light for this exercise, maybe you imagine that you're moving through something sticky, like honey or water, something with resistance. This is too much, you can alternate, right? So you could do one arm and then the other. You can also take breaks whenever you need. And just watching that angle, are you able to maintain that angle where the arms are slightly out or turned out versus keeping those arms front, right? So our typical bicep curl is what I'm showing here with the arms forward. Are you able to keep that turn out? So it's just different. Let's do a few more. And then releasing those arms, we're going to turn the hands now to face towards each other. The palms face towards each other, but the hands are alongside your legs. We're moving into a deadlift-like variation. We're going to hinge forward at the hips. So the spine is not changing shape. We hinge forward at the hips. The hips can go slightly back. The moment it feels like our hamstrings will not allow us to go any further, we bend the knees. Our torso is parallel to the earth. So see how my torso is parallel to the earth, and then straighten the legs and rise. So I'll go slow. I'll talk it through slowly a few more times, and then we can go faster. So we hinge forward. So that movement is happening by your pelvis moving over your leg bones. The spine does not change shape at all throughout this entire exercise. Arms are hanging forward. Once it feels like your spine really wants to move, that's when you bend those knees. Torso's parallel to the earth. Hands get close to the ground. And then push into the feet to rise. Let's add some breathing. Inhale on the way down. Hinging at the hips. Bending those knees. And then exhale as you rise. Keep going. So oftentimes deadlifts are done with much heavier weight. But it's good to really get that form. Can my body move in this way? Can I keep my spine from arching or rounding? So oftentimes we're used to rounding the back to bend forward and pick something off the ground. But that can be really hard on our spine. So our poor spine muscles and bones are taking a lot of load instead of our strong big joints, like our hips and our knees, and those joints can take a lot more load than our spines. So a deadlift is a very functional exercise because it's a safe way to pick something heavy up off of the ground. Keeping those feet firmly planted. We'll do a few more. And then next time you're standing tall, go ahead and stay up tall. All right, new variation of bicep curls. We're going into hammer curls. So those palms are going to face towards each other. And then we bend the elbows, hands come towards the shoulders and back down. So it's not a traditional bicep curl either here because our palms are facing each other the entire time. Imagining that if you need more challenge, you're moving through something sticky or with resistance. So creating that increase in resistance will make your muscles work harder. Keep the jaw relaxed. Let's do just a few more. All right. And then we're going to put the weights down. And move into another exercise. I'm sorry, it looks like my screen suddenly. Okay, no, we're okay. Hopefully everyone can still see me. Oh, I think somebody is sharing their screen.
Yes, I think that's what's happened. Let me see here how to. Okay, it's no longer happening.
All right.
Okay.
Yep. All right, so we're going to do our deadlifts on one leg now. So I'm going to talk you through that carefully and slowly. If you decide you'd rather do the two-legged deadlift, what we were doing earlier, that hinge and the bend, totally fine. If you're going for the one leg, you need to have something to hold on to. So I'm going to take my chair and put my right hand on the chair. With my right hand on the chair, I'm going to balance on my left leg and bring my right leg back behind me. So I'm going to bend that right knee, and those right toes are on the earth. You can start with the right toes on the earth. As this gets easier, you can float that right foot completely off the ground. It's the same exact motion, except for the focus is just our standing leg. So it's just my left leg on the ground. My right hand is on the chair. My right toes might be touching or hovering. We're hinging forward, so it's that same exact motion. Flat back. Once you can't hinge any further, you bend that front knee, straighten the leg, and come up. So I'll talk that through slowly one more time. Right toes are just touching the ground behind you. Left leg is holding the balance. Your right hand is holding your chair for extra balance. Hips hinge back. We hinge forward, so you get a hamstring stretch. Once it feels like your spine can't continue, or your torso can't continue down without rounding the spine, that's when you bend your knees. All of the weight is on that left leg. Then push down into that left foot to rise. Great. So keep going. We hinge forward. We bend the knee. We straighten the leg and come up. You can do this with the weight in your hand if you want. I'm going to do it without because it's plenty of work without it. If you need more challenge, that right foot comes completely off the ground. The other way you can increase challenge is to not hold on to that chair or just hold on with one or two fingers. Just make sure whatever you do, it's safe. So if you find this hard while you're holding onto the chair, then definitely do not let go of the chair. We want to be able to continue fitness throughout our life without getting injured too often. And so we want to push ourselves to the right amount. So it can be challenging, but not feel unsafe. Let's do a few more. Hopefully you're starting to feel some burn in that left standing leg. Let's do one last one. All right, and then coming up, shaking it off. Hopefully that was challenging enough. Even if you were doing two-legged ones. And then let's go to the other side. So same option. You can do the two-legged deadlifts we did earlier, or you're going to turn and put your left hand on the chair or on the wall, something to hold on to. Because now we're going to balance on our right leg. Left foot goes behind. So you bend the left knee, left toes touch the ground for the first few, just so that you can get comfortable with the movement. From here, we hinge at the hips, so the spine stays exactly the same. We hinge forward, hinge forward. The moment the back wants to round, that's when you bend that right knee. Torso's parallel-ish to the ground, and straighten the leg and lift the torso. So continuing here on your own. Feeling free to lift your left foot off the ground if you want more challenge. Notice how this side is different than the other side. You might need something else. It's okay to notice how maybe one side is stronger, one side is better at balance. You can also lighten the amount of support you're using on the chair. So maybe it's just one finger on the chair. Couple more times. Let's do one more. All right, and coming up. Shake it off. Hopefully you felt that. And then we'll grab our weights. We're doing one more set of bicep curl variation. So this time our traditional bicep. So palms face forward. And we're going to bend and straighten those arms. So just typical bicep curls. So 3 different variations of bicep curls today. Few more. All right, and releasing those arms, the weights to the side. We're gonna do a little bit more unilateral leg work. So that's when our legs are not doing the same thing. So just like we were doing those one-legged deadlifts, now we're going to do lunges. So the right hand is gonna come back to your chair. So hopefully your chair is still in that position. The left leg is going to come forward. If you're in socks, I recommend you take off the socks, or if you have sticky socks, you know, with the rubber on the bottom, that's fine. Otherwise, take them off or be in sneakers so you don't slip and slide. So left foot is in front, right leg steps back. Let your feet be about 2 feet apart, give or take, right? It depends on how long your legs are. So the longer your legs, the wider or the longer your stance is going to be. Back heel comes off the ground. So the ball of the foot and the toes of that back foot, that right foot, are on the earth. The entire front foot is on the ground. And then we're going to bend the left knee and the right knee. You decide how far you go. So we're bending the knees, maybe creating a 90-degree angle with both legs, and then straightening. Torso stays upright the entire time. It's like your torso is an elevator going straight up and down. Let's inhale, down. Exhale, push down into your left heel to rise. It's up to you how far you go. It's also up to you how long your stance is. You can make it shorter. You can make it longer. You're holding on for balance, but if you don't need it, you can let go with that right hand. Couple more times. These can get tiring and challenging because it's strengthening and also stretching. All right, next time your legs are towards straight, we'll pause, hold on to the chair for the transition, step forward, back foot meets the front. Shake it off, turn around, we'll go to the other side. So this time, left hand is on the chair, right leg steps forward, left leg steps back. Again, feet are 2-ish feet apart, but it really depends. The taller you are, the wider, or the longer, shorter you are, the shorter your stance is. All 10 toes face forward. Back heel comes off the ground. So the left toes are still on the earth, but that left heel is off the ground. Right foot is completely planted. Torso is straight up and down. We bend both knees, creating 90-degree angles or a different angle, right? So it's just as much as you want. Just, I would say, don't pass 90. Going to 90 is enough. And then push down into that front heel to rise. Let's inhale, bend the knees, lowering the body. Exhale, straighten the legs. Keep going. That left hand on the chair is there for support. If you don't need to hold on, then let go. Totally fine, as long as you're safe. Couple more times. and then grab a hold of the chair. If you've let go, move those legs towards straight, maybe still a slight bend in that front leg to step forward. Back foot meets the front. Shake it off. We're gonna come back to those weights for our arms. All right, so we're moving to overhead presses. I'm gonna adjust my camera so you can see me a little bit better. All right, so for overhead presses, we're going to go with that hammer curl. So that's when those palms are facing each other. We've already done hammer curls, so we're gonna do that hammer curl and then push those arms straight up overhead. If your arms can't go all the way overhead, it's okay, don't go all the way overhead. Go where you can and then lower the arms. So you bend and then you start to straighten. Maybe you only go halfway, totally fine, doesn't matter. And then lower back down, make sure it's safe on the body. So keep going here, overhead presses with that bicep curl, with that hammer curl. You can always alternate. So you could do one arm and then the other if you're getting tired. Couple more times. Okay, and then let your arms relax, take a break, maybe a couple shoulder rolls. If you're comfortable continuing to hold on to the weights, you're going to keep holding those weights for a little bit longer as we move into our legs. So taking your legs wide, a little wider than shoulders, toes either face forward or just a slight turnout. We're just going into a squat, so you bend your knees, torso stays pretty high, and then straighten the legs to come up. Let's just do 2 or 3 more regular squats. So we bend, hips go back, torso stays high, and we're up. All right, so we have a combination. So next time you're standing, we'll pause. We're going to combine that overhead press we were doing with our squat. So I'll talk through it very slowly first. We bend the knees, arms stay straight. Then we begin to bend the elbows at the bottom of our squat. And as we straighten our legs, our arms straighten to the sky. Bend those elbows, straighten the arms as you bend those knees back into your squat. So from our squat, we begin to bend those elbows, straighten those legs, and press those arms overhead. Bend the elbows on the way down, bend your knees, squat as you lower your arms. So keep going here. You can allow it to be natural. So in whatever way is possible for you to combine these two movements. So the squat and the overhead press, that's how you're going to do it. You don't need to use weights, right? You could do this with no weights. You could also do just the bicep curl, right? So if your shoulders are tired of that overhead press, just do the bicep curl. If your arms are tired, just do the squats. If your legs are tired, just do the arms. Make this work for your body. Couple more times. Let's do 2 or 3 more. All right. And let's put those weights off to the side. All right, one last exercise, another one-legged. So we've been doing a lot of one-legged stuff today. Right hand onto the chair. We're standing on our left foot. Here, I'm going to have you tuck your tail. So instead of letting your tail go back behind you, You're going to let your tail drop down between the legs. Let your ribs stay relaxed. So just watch that you're not jutting your ribs forward for this exercise. Holding on to the chair with the right hand. Weight shifts to the left. We're bending that right knee and bringing that right heel towards your glutes. Watch that you don't untuck. So once you untuck, you're going to lose that strengthening in the back of the leg for this exercise. So think pubic bone moves towards the belly button, tail drops between the legs as you bend your right knee. You're just gonna hold a few breaths. If you cramp, just straighten the leg and rebend. Watch that that knee is not forward, so your knees are right next to each other. You bend as much as you can, 2 more breaths. Release, turn around, switching sides. Left hand to your chair. We're now balancing on the right foot. Again, drop your tail, so watch that your tail doesn't go back. Tail between the legs, pubic bone towards your belly button. Ribs relax. Weight onto that right leg as you bend your left knee. Continue to bend your left knee as much as you can using the strength of the left leg. As you do that, watch that your tail doesn't start to go out behind you. You do that, you lose a lot of that strengthening. So drop that tail. Continue to bend, continue to balance, holding onto the chair as needed. Couple more breaths. And release, straighten out the leg, shake it off. All right, planting those feet to the ground, finding that even weight, front to back, right to left. Inhale, circle the arms out to the side and up towards the sky. Palms touch, exhale, hands lower towards your heart. 2 more times. Inhale, circle the arms out and up. You decide how high you go. You don't have to go all the way up. Maybe they stop at the T position. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last time, deep inhale. Nice, long exhale. And give yourself a hand. Nice work, everybody. So great to have you here. All together. So next week we have yoga. We have chair yoga, and then we're gone for 2 weeks. So no yoga or functional fitness for Christmas week or the week of the 25th, and then the week of the January 1st.
So if you haven't already joined our Facebook group, we have the link to that here. And I hope that you'll join us again next week. So with that, we'll say goodbye. Bye for now.